What's going on, everybody? I'm not gonna sit very long because I'm about to move. What I wanted to do was talk about recording studios and what they are today. I know that for those that watch my channel, and I said beginning of this week, I was actually going to do my recording where I'm going to record a song, mix it, master it, distribute it, and all the whole yard, and you'll be able to buy it. Had a little bit of setback. I'm still going to do that. So for those that are waiting to do that and see how I'm going to do it, but what I want to do, I thought about it hard because I was going to do everything up here. That's I'm going to do everything in here. But I said, you know what? Not everyone that watches my channel has an Allen Heath console or Avalon preamp or the Antelope interface, or a lot of people don't have a lot of what I have, such as everything I have up here, which gave me an idea to do this video. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and definitely write some comments, a thumbs up. It all helps the channel. I say, you know what? I want to make a track, and I'll explain in a minute why. I'm decided how I'm going to do this, and you're probably going to be relate because I think you'll see what I'm talking about. So the title of this video, is going to be leg itch. It's always like my nose itch, my ear itch, or now my leg itch. Okay. Now, it would be easy, and it's definitely easy to do it in here because I know the gear. But I wanted to talk about what the definition of recording studios are today, because there is a big misconception that a recording studio has to be what we think a commercial recording studio or professional recording studio versus a home recording studio, or what is known as a home project studio. And you may agree with me, or you don't have to agree with me, but in my definition of a professional is not necessarily the building, like a commercial building, where, yeah, I get it. You got the rooms with inside the rooms, the wiring, the grounding, all of the acoustics, the panels, the control room, the live room. You have your lounge, your reception area, your lounge, your bathrooms. All that is great. But if you really think about it, even if you have a home like I do, and there, sometimes those places have kitchen areas. Well, if you think about it, in my house, if you walk through my front door and I greet you, that is the reception, right? Right? There's no secretary, but for me, I do appointments and I talk to people and get a feel for people and decide if I'm going to work with them and record in here and all that, right? So that is kind of like the reception, and I let them know what I'm going to charge and what I'm going to do and how we can, so that is kind of what you would do in a real, when you deal with a commercial studio and they're telling you what their hourly rates are and how they're going to charge and all that. So I can do that the same way. Now, technically, a lounge area, I got a guest bedroom. I got another room I can turn into a guest bedroom. I got my living room with the big screen TV so you can relax in there. I got a back patio deck that you go out, maybe you want to have some downtime to write some songs or whatever on my back patio deck. It's the same concept, right? It's the same thing. Well, kitchen area. Wow, this is my house, so it's definitely got a kitchen, right? Because this is a basically a 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths. So it's got bathrooms, right? So there's bathroom facility. There's a place for you to relax. I got a guest bedroom in case it ever be one of those situations where a person has to stay overnight. I got a guest bedroom, even though that's really ever going to happen, but just letting you know. And then, of course, there is where I'm going to record. Here's one of my control rooms. But to get to the heart of the video, the problem is that, we think of the commercial studio where you walk in there and there are albums and stuff like that, right? Okay. Well, I'm going to start in here, right? And I'm going to define what can a commercial studio be, right? Or a professional studio be. And I think from now on, I don't think that a home studio can be, because you did it in a home, that is no longer considered a professional studio. Because I'll do one more example. In Berry Hills area of Nashville, majority of those recording studios are houses converted into commercial studios, but they're houses. So because it's in a house, if the acoustics are done right, and you can get and on top of that, if you can get an excellent, magnificent recording in a house, which a lot of people are doing it now. They're learning how to get the acoustics right in their house. And even Warren Hewitt, a Produce Like a Pro, has commercial level acoustic built studios in his house. But because it's Warren Hewitt of his reputation, people will not. They're not going to say, okay, that's not a commercial studio or that's not a professional studio, because Warren Hewitt himself is a professional producer, musician, engineer, blah, 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 blah. So the professional is the person with the skill set and the knowledge and the experience. Because a person that's professional, like for example, Andrew Sheps can come in here and use my gear and know how to and do it in here and know how to mix it and all that and get a professional result. So with that being said, I'm going to move on about the video to see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to do a little scan. Of course, people seen in here. So would it define that if I do stuff up in here in this room with the console, all the outboard gear and all those preamps and all that stuff over there, do it have to be this level of gear to be a commercial professional studio? I'm going to say no. So I'm going to move about the house, go downstairs. We're going to walk downstairs. And of course, there's some of the accolades, like you would see in like a commercial studio. I got some of the accolades on the wall and some of the artists on the wall that so I got some of the artists on the wall, right? So if I turn this on, I just have it up here. I just have to put it up here. But there you go. So of some of the music that, so we're moving downstairs. So if what I would sit there and say that my answer would be no. So if I move into my front room here, and like when you walk through the front door and you turn to the left, you're going to see here my front room, and I have gear in here. So do you have to have at least this level of gear to be considered a pro level studio or whatever? Even in this room, I got it on YouTube, but okay. So in this front room, where I have a console and some racks of gear, my interface and stuff like that, does it have to be at least this to be a commercial studio? And once again, I'm going to say no. So I'm going to move to the kitchen, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to sit down, and I am going to put my stand right here. And I got a keyboard, a simple digital mixer with my little keyboard, right? And all I got sitting on this living room, on this dining room table, is just my interface, a pair of speakers, my laptop, with my Arterial Key Lab, my Arterial Key Lab controller, and with my little mixer, my keyboard. And that's a very basic setup, right? So I'm going to put it here, right? Put it on the stand. So with this very minimum setup, can this be considered a professional recording studio? And you know what I'm going to say? Yes. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why I think this can be considered. I'm going to tell you why I think this can be considered, even this setup right here, because typically, believe it or not, there are a lot of people that have home studios with setups like this. They have their laptop, whether it be a MacBook Pro or a PC, excuse me, whatever choice of monitors they want to use, whatever interface they want to use, whatever controller they want to use, and if they want to use external pieces of gear, with this is pretty much the minimum amount of gear needed to get started. And of course, with some plugins and some software. And like me, I have a mixer in here because mixers help enhance, right? That's personal preference. And of course, with an external keyboard, because I'm not going to always use my plug-in sounds, even though I could use my, plug-in sounds and just use the keyboard here. But I'm going to use this minimal setup right here. And so what I decided to do was, when I told people I was going to do this song where I'm going to create a song, I'm going to record the song, I'm going to mix the song, I'm going to master all the whole works, distribute the song, and you'll be able to purchase the song, 99 cents or whatever. I think it's going to be, because I'm just going to do a single. You'll be able to buy it, download it. I'm going to do whatever I decided, if I'm going to do 1 RPM or DistroKid or whatever. 99 cents, you'll be able to purchase it, download it, and play it. And it's going to be a radio ready track. I'm going to do all that. And so let me, anyhow, I think, MIDI controller. So, my point is having whatever choice of interface, controller, software, whatever tool. This is usually, when I see a lot of people's home recording studios, they'll have it in their bedroom. Of course, they'll make it look nice with the ambient lights, the reds and the blues and the neon lights and stuff like that. But they'll have the gear they have will be your basic minimum gear. You have, some people have a mixer, some people have an analog mixer, some people have a digital mixer. Some people will have, just depends on what they'll have. So there we go. ASIO, yeah. There we go. ASIO, and we want. There we go. 1 and 2. There we go. Now that's going through my mixer like I want. So it's going through my GBLs instead of my Logitechs like I want. Okay. So I'm about done with the video. I just want to prove a point, and this is where I'm going to do the track from. I want to say, because the other two rooms, even with the other two rooms, not everyone's going to have that choice of gear. And there'll be a lot of cases where people are not even going to have this choice of gear. But I wanted to prove a point that what people do have is something similar in most, we call it the home project studios, and we got to get that changed, where people are saying the home studio versus the commercial studio, because technically, if you look at all the recording studios, go back history, Motown, it started in the house. You know, a lot of studios actually started in the homes before they can actually, some people can actually decide to go in a lot of debt and get buildings and whatever the case. Yeah, of course it's beneficial, especially if you're going to record bands, anything that requires a lot of analog acoustic recording, such as instruments, such as violins, you know, viola, cellos, trumpets, trombones, orchestras. You need the big cathedral, you know, or the big old type of live room that can handle that many, with all that many microphones and that many preamps and the large 60 or 80 channel Neve or SSL or whatever. Of course you needed that because you needed that many inputs. But most people are just doing their own personal project music. Recording 1 or 2 tracks at a time. Things like that. So I said, I'm going to hold off because I was going to do it upstairs. And I said, you know what? Even if I did the track upstairs, and there were people like, wait a minute, yeah, I'm be tuned in because I want to see how you do it. But even if I did it like that, I'm going to do it the same way the signal route's going to go in the same way you would do it if you do a commercial studio. And a lot of people are not going to have a large console with the patch bay and all the outboard gear and all that. I might mix up there to see how you would see if you never got a chance to do the commercial studio experience. I might do that, but I want to show that this is all you need to, and I think Graham of the Recording Revolution has been screaming this for the longest. Minimum setups like this is all you really need to create professional, if you know what you're doing as far as recording on the front end and everything else. So that's why I'm gonna do it here. So that's why I decided to do it here to prove a point. And you're gonna see me do it here, and I'm gonna release it, and that way you can see firsthand how I'm gonna do it. So that's what I decided. So I'm glad I kind of prolonged a little bit of actually showing what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. Plus, just being sidetracked and other things came up didn't allow me to get started. But I am going to show you how I'm going to create this track here. So that's going to do it for this video. And we're going to do it. I was a bit like, man, you're going to create this track in your dining room? I sure am. So we'll see. Other than that, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great one, and we'll see you in the next.